Well, welcome, Jade. Jade's a recent graduate of the Blissful Breadwinner program and is here today to share a little bit about her journey and what she got from the program. So, Jade, would love for you to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Thanks, Jade. I've just turned 40 this year and I work in the education space. I've been a teacher for nearly 20 years and recently I've branched out into my own business and done educational consulting. But also in the last little while, I've been on my own with my two kids for the last couple of years, and recently my new partner and I have moved in together. So now we have a blended family of five children, four girls and one boy, and it's a pretty busy household, quite a big household, and lots going on. So I still keep some part-time work at a school, so I've got a little bit of part-time work, consulting work, big family. It's busy. Wonderful, but busy.
You wouldn't have it any other way. That's the only way we know how to live, isn't it?
That's true. That's true. And the moment there's any space, I go and fill it with something.
So tell me, very often we watch these videos and we think, oh, yeah, there's this stuff, there's all these great promises. But tell me, people want to know what's happened to you after our time together. Where are you at now?
Okay. I can honestly say it has changed my life. The program has turned things around for me, and it's not finished yet. It's still ongoing, but the shift has happened, and I feel like I'm in the right direction. I know I'm on the right path. It's made the most significant difference to me, and when I came in for my first call, I remember how I was feeling at the time, and I'd just actually been flicking through Facebook as you do and seen Joe's ad, and I watched the little clip and I thought, oh, it sounds exactly like me, but I was a bit uncertain. So I clicked on the link and went in a little bit further, and I sort of was at that point in my life where I'd tried a number of other things, and I felt really flat and I wasn't getting anywhere, and I knew I'd lost something that was a core part of me, and I felt tired and exhausted all the time, and I felt myself being a bit short and grumpy with my family, and it just wasn't where I wanted to be, and I certainly wasn't achieving the goals I wanted to achieve in my life. So I did go clicked on that link and had a look, and I thought, oh, I'll just see what it's about. But the course and the program has made the most significant difference. Joe will laugh because I did think I wasn't going to make it. I wasn't going to have any changes. And I remember saying to her in our first call, I'm really worried that it's not going to work for me. And I guess I'd felt like I'd tried lots of things before, and I had done a lot of reading and got some support from psychologists and things like that, and never really made significant long-lasting change. And so I was really worried it wasn't going to work, but I couldn't have been more wrong.
Well, I'm very happy to be wrong on this occasion. So tell me, I love hearing those words. So tell me, what do you think was different about this? Like you said, you've done the podcast, the books, the psychologists, you've tried everything. Us women tend to be really busy and we try to work our way out. What was different about this to everything else?
Yeah, the difference is that I felt like I understood where my blockages were, or what some of the issues were. I had a relatively good sense of self-awareness, I felt. And this course it delves into what those shortcomings are, perhaps all those things that you'd like to shift. And for me, it went into more depth than I'd ever understood before. So I got an even greater understanding of where I was at. But the key thing is that it then gives you the strategies to get out and to make shifts and to understand where those areas of difficulty or those blockages within you are coming from, and really understand. And sometimes they trace right back to something that happened so long ago, and you've held on to something all this time, and it's snowballed into this big impact in your life. And that's the difference. It's the strategies and the unpacking of what's behind those issues that have cropped up in your life and become bigger over time. So now I feel like, as a graduate of the course, I have this array of tools at my disposal. I have a much better understanding of who I am and why I react to certain things in certain situations. But then I can go to my tools and say, right, out of all these wonderful tools, that's the one I need to use for this particular occasion. And so using different tools at different times, it's fantastic. So yeah, that's the difference. It's the tools, understanding, and then the tools to get out of it.
Well, I love talking about there's a combination of mindset and strategy. And if we don't have both together, then nothing, we usually try all the tools or strategies and it never really works for us. So it's good that we've got to have that combination. So tell me, you mentioned a little bit about where you were before, kind of a bit tired, a bit grumpy. Talk to me about, obviously, bringing families together, not always an easy thing. Tell me, where were you from a headspace perspective?
Yeah, I'd say very flat. I'd sort of been trying really hard to, crawl out every morning, crawl out of bed and put on my happy face and get through the day. But I found that despite all my willpower to stay positive for the day, it was, very much waning much earlier in the day than I would have wanted it to. And I've always been a pretty energetic, positive, enthusiastic sort of person, and I felt like I'd lost that. I'd lost that vivacity that I know is unique to me, and so I had got into a bit of a hole, and so when I met Joe, I just thought, I need something to shift, and I realise now in hindsight that was all about mindset. And so a lot of that was, hanging on to things in my mindset that weren't helping and weren't productive. So, yeah, like you just said, mindset, get the tools, away we go. So, yeah.
And why, obviously, you've been a mum for a while. We often live like this, feeling a bit flat and lost for quite a long time. What made you say, you know what, I'm going to do something about this today and I'm going to change for good instead of just keeping going? Because we're mums, we'll always keep going.
What made me change? I think it was that I'd just been on the treadmill too long, and it was unsatisfying. And I felt, despite the fact that I had wonderful children in my life and a wonderful partner, and really from the outside everything should have been great, I still was just flat out, and I wasn't feeling that internal sense of satisfaction and delight within my own life. And I really wanted to achieve some things in my career, and I felt like I needed something different to shift. I needed to not be in that space where I was feeling flat and exhausted to achieve those goals. I needed to really have that shift back to that energetic, enthusiastic person. So yeah, I had some goals, and I also just didn't want to be in that place anymore. So I knew it was time to make a change. And I think as well, there comes a point when you realise your impact on your loved ones around you isn't what you'd like it to be. And I'd come home some days from work and just feel like, I wasn't bringing joy to my home. I was, tired, I was frustrated, I was whatever it may be, and that wasn't who I wanted to be. So and I didn't think I was that person. I just got a bit stuck. So yeah, it was a combination of those factors. I think wanting to achieve something in my career, but also be that loving sort of mum person as well. Balance between those all those pieces.
I love that buzzword. We love the word balance, don't we?
Yes, I do. Yep.
I mean, it sounds like the words life-changing is something that I always love to hear after our time together. What does the future hold for Jade and for the family?
Well, I think for me personally, the change has been the ability to not be in that sort of negative flat space that I was before. I now am able to keep that, change my mindset, shift that state that I'm in, and be that positive, loving mum that I want to be when I'm home, and really engage in the moment with my children and feel like I'm present with them and my partner, of course. And on a career front, I feel like now I have the confidence and I feel so empowered to go and do what I want to do. And I've already seen, just in the 8 weeks that I've been doing the course, big changes in that space. I came in as sort of, a bit uncertain about the consultancy work, and I've finished the course with heaps of work already on my plate. And that's just come from, having that confidence and having that right mindset towards doing that work. So I feel really, really positive and optimistic about my business, which is amazing. And certainly for my family, I know that they experience the difference and love the difference. So, and they're happier and more relaxed as a result as well. So good things from here, but ongoing as well. You take away a whole set of strategies and tools that you can use immediately, but you also know you're going to continue using them. Things will come your way and you'll have to deal with those, but I feel well equipped to deal with it from here.
That's what we like. We talk about having a pretty good toolkit and making sure we know how to use it. So what would your advice be to somebody who's watching this, whether they've already watched my webinar and they think, I don't ask for help, I'm not that type of person, and is this a bit of a rip-off, is this a scam? What would you say to somebody who's where you were just a couple of months ago? What would your advice be?
Do it. My advice would be invest in yourself, and the investment will be well and truly worth it. Both, you know, if it's a career-based thing or a work-based thing, definitely there will be benefits there, but the benefits will also come into your family and your home life and your personal life as well. Things that I was really nervous about was the time commitment, and that, you know, is well and truly worth it. In actual fact, now I'm finding that I am making time for me to you know, do what I need to do in my life, and that's a really important thing to do as well. And you learn to understand the value of that. I was worried about committing the financial commitment, and I've just seen so many positive things come out of it. It doesn't even measure up. But on top of that, my business has gone so well that I would say I've actually ended up, you know, benefiting in a financial sense because of the work that I've done through the course. So it's worth investing in yourself.
It's something we're not very good at, are we? We don't look after ourselves as women, as mums. So no. It's wonderful that you got the courage to, you know, book in that call, which is something that everyone thinks, oh, is she weird and what's going to happen? I don't know. You can attest. I don't have 4 heads. I'm not a purpley prickled monster. You know, we have fun, and it's wonderful being part of the tribe.
Yes, absolutely is. Yes, and actually the tribe is really, really beneficial too. Meeting other women that are in a similar space to you, dealing with, you know, similar but different issues. That is such a wonderful experience. So that's, another great part of the course.
Well, thank you for your feedback, Jade. It's always wonderful to hear such a beautiful, succinct story of, you know, this exhaustion, overwhelm, to feeling positive and empowered and back to your wonderful, vivacious self. So I can't wait to see what the future holds, and I look forward to being part of it.
Thank you, Jo.
Thanks.